And people who use irony well, and I think you're one of these people, play it straight so that people can't tell that you actually espouse the opposite of the opinion that you're saying verbally. Sarcasm is what I think of as poor man's irony. So it's like a teenager will use sarcasm and say, oh, I'm so great to get up early and go to school today. Because you can tell they don't really believe what they're saying. You can tell they believe the opposite. Irony is, I am so excited to get up and go to school today. Today at school is going to be great. It's 6 a.m., I'm ready to go. So people have a hard time getting that because you're playing it straight. And obviously the Onion does that. The Onion plays everything straight news voice, totally serious.
Well,
so that's my world too, and I have the same problem.
Sometimes you've been rather obvious, like I think after 9/11, the famous picture of the rebuild of the buildings and things like that.
Yeah, so irony is just one of the 11 types of humor. There are many other types of humor that you can use and that the Onion employs regularly. So that one sounds like misplaced focus and hyperbole to me. So,
yeah, I love hyperbole as well.
And I apologize in advance. I might get annoying with this, but I'm sort of like Neo in the Matrix. When it comes to humor, I see the code, and I'm not really laughing with normal people. I'm saying, a little bit of misplaced focus and irony and some hyperbole.
How did he do that?
That's just how I think. It's like, I guess, like a. What do you call somebody who knows wine? Sommelier? Is that what you call a person? It's like a sommelier with wine. That's how I am with jokes. So don't ever take me to a Will Ferrell movie. I'm no fun. You can laugh all you want, but I'll be just going, interesting.
So what are the 11 types since you bring it up?
Irony, we talked about. Character. That's when you establish simple character traits in a person and then show them acting on those traits. Always funny. People love that. What's that?
Area man?
Say that again?
Area man? Although
The area man is a character, absolutely. He's the everyman, which is a character archetype. Whole other thing we could go into. Archetypes are a thing that have been around since the Italian Renaissance theater. People love them. The Onion itself is a character archetype. It's the bumbling authority character, like Lieutenant Frank Drebin, like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, like Ron Burgundy, speaking of Will Ferrell. An authority figure who spouts nonsense, or
Lieutenant Clouseau.
What's that?
Clouseau, the French.
Exactly. Yeah, anybody. It's usually like bumbling authorities are usually a low-level authority who are clinging to their authority desperately because they know that they are bumbling. So some good examples in movies. I love using movies as a reference because the genres are so clear, and that character in movies often always has some sort of identification or a badge, because that's their proof that they are an authority figure. So Paul Bart Mall Cop will always have his badge present. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, on the poster, he's like showing you his ID. Principal Rooney from Ferris Bueller's Day Off lost his wallet, and that was like his identity because that proved that he was the principal, that he was who he said he was. So, so irony, character. I could talk all day about character. I love it. And reference is the third one. Reference is when you reference a common thing that we've all experienced, like a little thing in day-to-day life. The area man often is doing some little reference thing. Like area man goes in the basement, can't remember why he went there, something like that. Shock is the next one. That's sex, violence, swearing, etc. People love it. Especially 14-year-old boys. They're like the primary demographic for shock humor. Or anyone who's a 14-year-old boy on the inside.
There you go. 13, I was, so now I'm going to up it to 14.
Great. Hyperbole we talked about, which is comedic exaggeration, so exaggerating to an absurd degree. Parody, which is when you ape the format of something else. The Onion is also a parody because it's parodying a newspaper or news website. Wordplay is the next one, which is any kind of fun you can have with words. Many wordplay devices don't work in humor. They just come off as annoying and overly clever, like a Mensa puzzle or something. But if you are sticking to like double entendre and puns that have really good subtext, you're doing fine with wordplay. It can be really effective.
So when you talk about puns that way, it sounds like you don't like the really bad puns that everybody
A bad
gets.
pun
but
just means that there's no subtext, meaning there's no deeper meaning that you're communicating with the joke, or the pun, which is a word that has two meanings and you're putting it in a sentence. If it's a bad pun, the sentence only makes sense if you read the word one way, but it doesn't make sense if you read it the other way. A good pun is when it's read correctly both ways, like trophy wife mounted is a great Onion headline with 2 puns in it.
There are
And
10 types of people in the world.
It reads correctly all 4 ways, so
Yeah.
that's great. Or robot charged with battery.
Yeah.
That's a great pun with, again, 2 puns, 4 different meanings.